Sunday's third video for you is first news story is about call for a protest in the Amhara region, especially in Gojam. On Saturday, we saw messages, we saw mobilization, and it was being planned that on a Sunday, massive demonstrations will be held, that Gojam Addis Ababa road will be closed. What happened today in Gojam? Was there any demonstrations? We have two video clips for you. And can we say that this call for protest has failed? Second news story is about Sidama National Liberation Front, SNLF. SNLF today contacted me. They have some reservations about a video which I uploaded 2 days ago about what's happening on Oromia Sidama border. I'll share the reservations with you. And lastly, Getachew spoke just a few minutes ago about the release of prisoners by Tigray government. Tigray government has released around 4,000 prisoners in the past few hours. Then we saw a statement from Ethiopian Communication Ministry. And after the statement, Getachew spoke and he hinted at the total number of prisoners of war who are still in the hands of Tigray government. Firstly, viewers, Amhara region, on Saturday, calls were being made that on a Sunday massive demonstrations will be held. Amhara youth, Amhara people were being urged to take to the streets against the ongoing operation against Fano supporters in the Amhara region. It was being planned that Gojam will be cut off, that Gojam Addis Ababa road will be closed. What happened today in Gojam? Was there any demonstrations? In the previous video, we shared a few pictures showing closed businesses because today was Sunday. On Sunday, some businesses, some shops remain closed. Then we shared some pictures, including an old picture showing deployment of security forces. Security forces were deployed because we confirmed from different sources that government forces were deployed, regional forces especially, to different parts of Gojam. Was there any protest? We have two video clips for you. Watch these clips, then we'll sum up what happened in Gojam today. First video clip is from Gondar University, where a protest was held inside the university, in university premises. No one dared to go out. Second clip is from outside Bahirdar Stadium. In Bahirdar Stadium, there was a football match of Ethiopian Premier League today between two clubs. In the previous video, we reported that ENDF Janal Shambil Bijine was also in Bahirdar to see this match. There was thousands of spectators who saw this match in the stadium. And outside the stadium, we saw small protests. But those were not protesters. Those were the persons who were there to see the match in the stadium. Watch these two clips. First one from Gondar University, second one from Bahirdar football stadium. Then we'll sum up. Now, Gondar University protest was in Gondar, not in Gojam. And this second video from Bahirdar Stadium, it wasn't a demonstration basically. People were there to see a football match, and then they chanted slogans as well. We saw some messages inside stadium as well. People displayed placards in support of FANO. But overall, if government organized a match, it did not postpone the match. It means that government is in control of the situation. That is why government had confidence that nothing will happen. So match was allowed to proceed. It wasn't shifted from Bahirdar. It wasn't postponed. It means that we can sum up the call for protest in Gojam has failed. It has completely failed. We did not see any major demonstration today. We did not see the attempt which was being talked about yesterday to cut off Gojam Addis Ababa road. Amhara youth has failed in this first test, you can say that. They announced through social media to come out, but they could not. Because security forces, all regional, federal, intelligence agency, all have joined hands. They want to crush all who are against the government, who are speaking against the government. And that is why people could not come out of their houses, and we saw no major demonstration. Second news story is about Oromia Sidama border viewers. 2 days ago, I shared a video clip from Sidama Oromia border, and we were told by some OLA-backed news sources that OLA had carried out an attack on a police base in Sidama, close to Oromia Sidama border. After that, I received dozens of messages. I received an email from Sidama National Liberation Front as well, SNLF, the armed group operating in Sidama for years. And this group is an ally of Oromo Liberation Army. SNLF says, firstly, that in Sidama, in border areas, Sidama Oromia border area, civilians have been killed in some attacks. 6 persons have been killed on Sidama side and 14 injured. And all are civilians according to Sidama National Liberation Front. SNLF has shared names, places, residents, the addresses of the killed persons with me as well. They say that OLA does not attack civilians in Sidama, and these are PP party backed groups and elements which have been carrying out attacks in Sidama. So they are denying the role of OLA in border fighting, border escalation. They say that they're OLA's ally. OLA, SNLF, both are allies. That is why OLA would never attack civilians in Sidama. And they further say, these SNLF officials, that there is no checkpost of police close to border areas. And lastly, they deny the involvement of Sidama regional forces in the ongoing operation against Oromo Liberation Army. Though we have seen that from OLA-backed news sources, some official statement from OLF as well, in which they confirm that Sidama regional forces are part of the operation against OLA. If I am not mistaken, I remember that OLF, Oromo Liberation Front, clearly said in a statement that Sidama's regional forces were part of the operation. But SNLF is denying. SNLF said the regional forces are not part of this operation. Overall, SNLF is saying that attacks on civilians in Sidama are being carried out by Oromia government-backed factions. I shared the point of view with you. Last news story is about the release of prisoners of war, around 4,000 by Tigray government. Around 3 days ago, Tigray government announced to release thousands of Ethiopian government soldiers taken prisoner during the course of Tigray conflict. Then around 36 hours ago, we saw pictures of released government soldiers. Tigray government urged the international community to facilitate the handing over, and they urged the international community to put pressure upon Ethiopian government to reciprocate by releasing Tigrayans who are in detention, by releasing Tigranian-speaking ENDF military officials, and by restoring basic services in Tigray. Ethiopian government did not welcome this release of prisoners of war. Instead, a few hours ago, Ethiopian Federal Communication Ministry issued a statement. It said that the released persons were mostly relatives of Ethiopian army officials who were in Tigray. They were detained by Tigray government after ENDF withdrew from Tigray last year. And these are not soldiers mostly. These are common persons, civilians, relatives of Ethiopian army. And then we saw a response from Getachew Reda, Tigray presidential spokesperson. What is Getachew saying? Getachew says, why is that Addis Ababa is not acknowledging that Tigray has released prisoners of war? Why is that? He says that Tigray has twice as many POWs. It means 4,000 were released. Tigray has around 8,000 more remaining. Getachew says that it is either pride or vanity or lying that the Communication Ministry of Ethiopia is saying that these are not soldiers. These are just family members of Ethiopian government soldiers. So he is basically saying that they release government soldiers, but Ethiopian government is not acknowledging that because it is feeling humiliated that its soldiers were taken prisoner by Tigray and they remained there for months. Now, this Getachew statement indicates that thousands of ENDF prisoners are still in detention in Tigray, twice as many. It means 8,000. I personally think that this confidence building measure should be welcomed by Ethiopian government. Even if they are, some of them are relatives of Ethiopian army officials. At least they are out of Tigray. Now they'll be with their loved ones. Why don't you appreciate it? And why don't you release some relatives of TDF fighters, Tigray government officials as well? Progress, no matter how small, should be reinforced by other such measures leading to peace, which will remain an illusion if the two sides keep on belittling the progress which we are seeing, though very small progress so far. Thank you for watching.